Hey everyone, it's Matt with EquiPredict.com. Thanks so much for checking us out. In this video, we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be providing you guys an update on SQQQ, the triple leveraged inverse ETF for the NASDAQ. And we're going to be hopping through 3 time frames to help you and guide you locate an entry on the lower time frames. And again, if you're enjoying some of the content we're providing here, please do subscribe to the channel. You can use the button on the bottom right if you're on a desktop. Also head over to EquiPredict.com. We have a whole bunch of information over there to help you with market forecasts and market direction. So it's EquiPredict.com. Up on the screen here, we're going to start with the weekly time frame. We're not going to use the monthly. Sometimes we do because of the nature of SQQQ, the fact that it's a rapidly deteriorating security, especially now that we're in a bull market. Really, I think going beyond the weekly time frame really isn't that necessary. We've overlaid the EquiPredict cycle model on top of the weekly time frame. We're going to do it for each one to help kind of pinpoint where you should be looking. We did do a video on this a few weeks ago. The model told us to be looking for an entry sometime in June, but definitely be out in July. And sure enough, if you follow just the model alone, you're taking some losses on that. The thing to note about the EquiPredict model is that if you're fighting a trend, and I can't emphasize enough, we're in a bull market. I anticipate we will be until around March of 2025. So I'd be careful playing with SQQ, especially as we get into September. We have the chart here is the non-leveraged ETF, which is PSQ, and we're using PSQ to represent SQQ to avoid slippage. But what happens is the EquiPredict model that we have overlaid, if you're going to be fighting a downtrend, it will help you, if you're just using the model, to avoid substantial losses. Okay, if you're going to be taking on positions counter trend like you are here in SQQ at the present time. But nonetheless, we overlaid it. We're going to see what it tells us. And what we have here is essentially kind of a 30,000 foot view, weekly time frame. The next entry for SQQQ, according to the model, would be around July 8th, which is this upcoming week. You should consider being out of it or taking your profits around August 5th, and your next potential entry that you should be looking for on the calendar will be around September 16th. But again, I just have to reemphasize that you're still fighting this downtrend. So even if you do kind of enter, I'll kind of point out what I'm talking about with using the EquiPredict model. What you're going to see is that if you do take your orders from this and you really just kind of throw technical analysis out the window beyond that, it helps you. Yeah, you can go ahead and buy here and sell here, buy here, sell here, etc. But again, once it starts to really pick up steam in the opposite direction of where you want it to go, you're again fighting the trend. Our EquiPredict model told us to look at an entry sometime in early November, and again on the upswing of the model, you are out for a small loss or potentially break even. Again, you enter here in February. That week, mid kind of February, you're out in April for possibly a small profit. If you hung on and disobeyed the model and got out late in the game, sometime in mid-April, you had a great profit there. But again, here this was an entry in May that it provided you with. But again, if you had obeyed the model only and just ignored your technical analysis, you would have gotten out for a loss here. So you just need to be careful. What you want to do is be looking for your entry around July 8th. I would recommend on the smaller time frames, which we are going to hop through, to be looking for an entry, and we'll kind of help you and guide you on what to look for with that. So again, 7-8, be looking for an entry with strength going into August, the week of August 5th, I should say. So we'll hop down to the daily now. And it's giving some of the additional same information as we hop down through time frames. You're going to see the numbers and the dates change ever so slightly, only because you're getting more granular and starting to pick up. It's starting to pick up the exact dates on it. So again, here's the model. Again, you just need to be careful how you just go ahead and take it. If you had without doing technical analysis, you just obeyed the model and nothing else. You're in here and you pop to the upside. You get out there for a small loss, potentially break even depending on where you sold in that particular candle. Again, no technical analysis, just using the model here, you're break even. So you can see that you're really fighting it down. You're fighting a bull market, you're fighting a downtrend, and we don't recommend doing that. I mean, we're looking for our next entries, our next ideal entries into TECL and TQQQ. We're really not eyeballing SQQQ. There is money, I believe, to be made potentially in SQQQ from around 7.8, 7.9, 7.10 up through July 31st, and we just have it marked here that at the end of July, the model is just telling us that the risk becomes high going long on July 31st. So I hope that makes sense, meaning buying to hold SQQ at that time, because at that particular point, according to other models we're looking at as well, a next phase of a bull market will kick in until late August. I mean, again, that's just what the model's saying. We need to be looking for sort of maybe a potential break if SQQ does pop up to that side, a break for that trend line. One thing I will note just about the model is you're looking at these charts with me here. This does not tell you the magnitude of the move. It just tells you, it gives you a calendar day to look at. I hope that kind of makes sense. It doesn't mean that the SQQ is going to go ahead and achieve the same height or more than its late April, or excuse me, the May the 22nd high over there. It just means that this is a time when you might consider seeing some weakness in SQQ, where you should be taking your profits if you have any at that time. So we'll hop down to the daily chart now. I apologize, the 60-minute chart, the hourly time frame, and this is where it gets interesting. This is where you should be looking for your entry. So one of the things we're going to be looking for is, again, the model's telling us around 8, 9, 10, 11 right here. Be looking for your entries and getting out potentially around August 1st. Between the 29th of July and August 1st is going to be your ideal kind of profit taking or exit points. And again, the model is just saying that you can see here that if you're just taking the model alone, you're not really obeying anything else. You're taking some losses, and if you're lucky, you're breaking even. One of the things that we're going to be looking for, we've overlaid here an ultimate oscillator. We've adjusted the settings just a bit, I think double the standard settings if you want to go ahead and do that yourself. What you can see is on each one of these pops to the upside, it really has not gotten above, I think this is around 63, 64, 65. You almost want to see it come into an overbought position. What we recommend to be looking for is on or around the 11th of July. Be looking for price to start to come up. You want to see the 18, by the way, this pink line. I apologize not talking about that earlier. The pink line is an 18-period simple moving average. We use that quite often. You want to see the price start to, in an orderly fashion, kind of rise above that. The 18 start to flatten out and cup around, and it would be nice to see it kind of hit that 18. The ultimate oscillator you want to see move into an overbought position, and potentially get above this sort of gap right here, and that's going to be your upswing to late July. So that's our recommendation if you want to play kind of the counter trend bull market with SQQ going into July, into late July. That's when you should be looking for, according to the models. So good luck, good trading, and certainly do be careful with SQQ, especially as we get into August. Take care.